Ladies and gentlemen, Enrique Wow coming at you live once again. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching the video. So, today we're going to do 9.1 PvP talents for Beast Mastery Hunter. Yes, the BM Hunter is back and it's back strong. I didn't even bother making a freaking BM Hunter video in 9.0 or before 9.0. But now it's like, it's come back strong. I even play it. Like, I played it at the end of 9.0.5. Like, had no choice. It was too good. As you guys may know, I run Thug Cleave, which is Hunter, Rogue, Healer. We run with a Shaman instead of a Priest right now. And it works. So I thought I would make a BM Hunter video, as a whole lot of Hunters, and probably other classes too, will be switching to the BM Hunter because it's so easy to play. It's almost troll. And it's also very good. So here we go. Starting off fresh. Number 1 on the list is Wild Kingdom, which is a new talent. Call in the help from one of your dismissed cunning pets for 10 seconds. Your current pet is dismissed in the rest, or dismissed to rest and heal 30% of its maximum health. So I mentioned this in the Survival Hunter video that this talent is going to be really good for a lot of different reasons. It opens you up to be able to play different pet specializations like endurance and get the wall, or if you just don't want to play cunning and you want more defense, and I think endurance also gives stamina, so you can do that as well. But in BM, it makes an even bigger difference. And the reason I say that is because if you do run an endurance pet, mainly a Spirit Beast, you get Spirit Men, which is a heal over time effect that I think is like every 30 seconds, maybe 45, something like that. Anyways, Spirit Men did get nerfed, so it doesn't heal as much as it used to. But if you run Aspect of the Beast in the last talent row, it increases your heals by 30% as well by your pet and for your pet. And that does include Spirit Men. So the heals are actually pretty chunky if you do run that talent and you do run Spirit Beast, I think. And you're gonna run that talent anyway because it's like the best one. So I think it heals for like 2k a tick, and the first heal is like 3k or 4k, and this is non-crit as well. So it's actually a pretty chunky heal, and I'm going to be taking this talent so often. BM Hunter has so many new talents, it's insane. And they also have so many good talents, it's insane. And I'm like, damn, why didn't Survival get some of these, or at least some reworks? But I'm not here to complain. Wild Kingdom, I think I gotta give it an S. I think it's going to be really good because not only can you run a Spiritman pet and get the heal and the wall, which I'll mention in a second, which is why the wall is going to be so good, but you can also still have access to freaking Freedom or Master's Call. Yes, this is on a 1-minute cooldown. It doesn't show here, it shows here. So it is on a 1-minute cooldown, which is a 15-second gap between Master's Call. Master's Call is a 45-second cooldown. But I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, man. Jungle and Thug Cleave and PHP, all those comps just aren't as tanky. They're not inherently tanky as like TSG or Windwalker DK or a Spell Cleave like Shadow Play or whatever. So like bringing some tankiness to your team is going to be insane, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. I can't hold it off any longer. Next big new talent, Kindred Beast. Command pet's unique ability cooldown is reduced by 50% and gains additional effects. It doesn't show it on Wildhead, which sucks. Maybe it shows it on this website. No, it doesn't show the unique effects, but I'm going to talk about the main unique effect, and that is, or an additional effect, and that is the endurance pet or the Spirit Beast pet, whatever you want to call it, which is the tanky one where you get survival of the fittest. So that's going to give you a wall every minute and a half, and it's going to be also including all allies within 10 yards of your pet when you press the ability, and they get a 50% wall. That's insane. So you're going to get a 1.5 minute wall for yourself and for your allies for 50%. And you also get the cooldown reduced from 3 minutes to a minute and a half. So that's insane. I can't remember what I think the cunning ability, I want to say the cunning ability gives freedom to like everybody. So not just the target you puts it on, it also chooses like the whole area and gives them cunning, or gives them Master's Call as well, which is pretty good. But I think if you combine this talent with Wild Kingdom, you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? So not only do you get Master's Call and freedom on a minute cooldown, you also get an insane wall plus Spirit Mend out of 2 talents. I think that's just going to be too good to give up. Like, it's so good. S tier ability, clearly. I mean, I've been begging for a Hunter Wall forever. I was like, dude, get rid of Wild Protector, which is, I think it's on this list. Wild Protector was just a flat 10% damage reduction. I'm like, that's trash. I don't need that. Like, burst damage is so high. I need something I can press. I literally, I tweeted to fucking Holinka and Wild Devs and like, get rid of this shit. We don't need it. We need a wall. And boom, they gave it to us. I was like out of my mind, dude. I was texting people like, they listen. They listen. I wish it showed like the extra abilities. Maybe I'll Google it in a second. This video isn't too long. But yeah, extra ability. I think that's going to be great. Great utility for the team. Great utility for yourself. Makes you more inherently tanky. I know you want to be more offensive, but as a BM, you know, you don't really have burst damage anyway. So I think it's a good ability. The next one is also new, called the Beast Within. Bestial Wrath inspires you and all nearby allied pets for 8 seconds, increasing attack speed by 10% and providing immunity to fear and horror effects. So this is basically just a 10% attack speed increase. I think it's just for yourself. That's how that tooltip reads, but I thought it was everybody. Maybe not. Yeah, it says inspires you and all nearby allied pets. So that's actually not as good as I thought it was. But I mean, 10% of stack speed is like nothing to laugh at. But if it was also to my allies, like I would be all over this. Like if I can give my rogue 10% attack speed increase and like a kidney shot, that would be insane. It's like a third of a lust almost. So. But as it stands, I mean, it's probably like a B. Like I would give it a B tier. It's not horrible. Like that's some pretty good offense because Bestial Wrath is up like all the time. Okay, next one, Royal Sacrifice. We all know what this ability does. Stops crit strikes, and the damage is redirected to the pet. Immediate S tier. We all know that. Hunting Pack. So this one also received a slight change. Reduces cooldown of the aspect of the cheetah by 50%. And it causes all allies within 15 yards to gain 90% movement speed for 3 seconds. So now I think the new one is you get the full effect to your whole all allies get the full effect. And I think it lasts longer than like 3 seconds. Yeah. So it lasts the full duration. I think that's actually a pretty good change. I mentioned that in the survival hunter video too. I don't remember having on a C or a B on the last video, but it's probably like a C just because it's like extremely niche. And Beastmaster Hunter has like really good PvP talents, so I would give it a C. Maybe in 2s is still probably good because if you run with a Holy Priest, they can get fears and etc. etc. So this next ability, Interlope. I've actually tested this out in the PTR because I've never really played BM that much. And I was like looking through the talents and I was like, this could actually be really good. So the next hostile spell cast on the target will call hostile spells for the next 3 seconds to be redirected to your pet. So it's almost like another Royal Sacrifice, but instead of being like just crit strikes, it's like it's almost like intervene. It's basically a warrior intervene for your pet. But when like in actual practice, this ability was trash, and the main reason is because it's only a 10-yard range, man. Like your pet must be 10 yards, so your pet must be within 10 yards of the target for the spells to be reflected. That's like not large enough. Like maybe if this was like 30 yards or like 40 or something, I would maybe take it. Maybe even like 25. But at 10, you know, I just can't see this being that good. Like I can't have that much pet management in like the heat of the moment. So this one's probably a D. Pretty cool idea, just needs a lot of range. This one's also 10 yards, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So the additional effects, the player has to be like 10 yards away from my pet, which is okay because they'll usually be targeting the same. They'll usually be targeting the same enemy. So I found this was actually pretty clean in practice, so no issues with that one. Next one, new talent as well, Camaro Sting. I love this ability, man. Stings a target, dealing 150% of attack power. As I mentioned before, that is pretty heavy hitting, as like Raptor Strike is only 100% of attack power. Cobra Shot, I don't remember, but I know it's not 150%. So this ability is actually going to hit really hard, or like pretty hard. Yeah, so it does nature damage and initiating a series of venoms, each lasting 3 seconds, and applies the next effect after the previous one ends. So the first one is Scorpius Venom, 90% reduced movement speed, into Spider Venom, Blanket Silence, that lasts 4 seconds. Viper's Venom, or it's going to last 3 seconds, I guess, in this case. Viper's Venom, 20% Mortal Strike effect. Insane. This ability is insane. It's so much utility in this. You can use this against melee, ranged, healers, 2s, 3s, any comp you want. It's going to be good. Love this change, man. This ability is so cool. Like in 2s, I'm going to have so much fun with this. Like I won't be able to be touched. I'll be able to blanket silence to gap close as well. Also with the Mortal Strike effect and their damage reduction, like reduced damage and healing 20%. Bro, fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy. That's gonna be so good, man. I'm excited, clearly. Next ability we all know and love, Survival Tactics. Feign Death dispels all harmful magic effects and reduces damage taken by 90%. Clearly an S tier ability. Always has been, always will be. So despite the fact that Kraven's stratagem is like really good and basically does the first half of this with removing all magical effects, I still take this ability a lot. Not as much on BM Hunter because I'm like way more tanky as a BM Hunter, more on survival. But having like the damage reduction, man, like every 15 seconds you have a 90% damage reduction, and they bug fixed it or changed it, whatever they did to it, to where Chaos Bolt and like, well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore, Greater Power Blast, but stuff like that, it works in the air. So like you can use this ability while that stuff is in the air and you still get the effect now. Like that's insane. Like this combined with some like conduits is like nutty. Like it's just a what is it called? I can't remember, man. It's called like Resilience of the Hunter or something, where after you feign death you get a like 6% damage reduction. So I mean it's a really good talent. Like this combined with Kraven's stratagem I think is like even better. So I use them both pretty often unless it's like a certain comp. Definitely like melee cleaves, I will take this every time. Next ability, Dire Beast Basilisk, summons a slow moving basilisk near the target for 30 seconds that attacks the target with heavy damage. This ability is trash, man. I was really excited for them to like, they was making all these BM changes and stuff. I was like, dude, they're gonna buff these Dire Beast. Like they had to buff them. They don't do any damage. Like this is a waste of a talent. So this is a D. It's so bad, man. I never take this thing because it just doesn't do any damage on a 2-minute cooldown, dude. Like no way. Next ability, Dragon Scale Armor. Magical damage over time effects deal 20% less damage to you. This ability is probably going to be really good in 9.1, just as spellcasters get more haste and just become overall more powerful. You might end up actually taking this a lot because Shadow Priest dots got increased. Affliction Lock is going to be pretty good probably. It should even Destruction cast dots and stuff now, so I can see this still being decent. I mean, it's probably a C tier now just because, you know, it's pretty niche. You like literally will only take this if it's like a Shadow Priest and like another caster or something. But even I don't think I would take this with just a Shadow Priest, just because you have Kraven's stratagem, of course, and survival tactics if you don't have craving stratagem. So yeah, I don't know. It's still, I mean, it's strong. 20% damage is a lot. All right, next ability, high explosive trap. Hurls a fire trap at the target that explodes on when an enemy approaches. Does damage and also knocks enemies away. So I use this ability a lot more than I used to, just because with survival tactics not always needed to be taken. I've kind of found I had an extra slot, so I would take that a lot just because it's really good for kiting. Like, I didn't used to take it before, but because it's wonky, the knockback is extremely wonky. But I use it a little bit more now, definitely in twos. So I'll give it a B. Next ability, no, that's Dire Beast Hawk. Dire Beast Hawk, summon a hawk to circle a target area, attacking on targets within 10 yards for the next 10 seconds. Like, this ability should be made for Hunter, because if Hunters play with a fucking Feral Druid all the time, and they play with a Rogue or a Paladin, so they always want to look for these like stun setups. And like, if this thing did damage, like, it would be so good, man. It would own in a setup comp, but it just does no damage. It does no damage at all. Like, D, I'm sorry, you do no damage. I'm sorry, Dire Beast, you just gotta do better, bro. You need some milk. Alright, last ability here, Tranquilizing Darts, new talent. Interrupting and moving effects with Tranquilizing Shot and Muzzle Counter Shot, basically your interrupts. Releases 8 darts at nearby enemies, each reduced in the duration of a magical beneficial magic effect by 4 seconds. So I mentioned this in a couple other videos. This could be really good or it could be really bad. I'm just not sure yet. Like, it's all gonna depend. Like, if it removes or if it reduces non-purgeable buffs as well as purgeable buffs, it could be decent. Like, if it's just 32 seconds off power, fortitude, or arcane and intellect, it's like, why do I have this ability, you know? But if it's like reducing like powerful magical buffs such as Avenging Wrath, which is not purgeable, or something of that nature, even it'd be good in like Combust and Icy Veins, but you know, 32 seconds would be good in that situation. But honestly, you probably wouldn't even feel it, because it's like, I mean, all of them have to fire into the target as well. Like, it'd be all 8 darts for 30 seconds. I don't know, it's kind of up in the air. I gave it a B just because I can see myself taking it against like Resto Druids or any hot based class with a lot of hots, and then it could be good. Or maybe like a Spell Cleave, it could be okay ish. But in Beast Mastery, honestly, as you can see, I think these 4 talents are going to be insane. Wild Kingdom is going to do, let's see what Kindred Beast, let's see if we can find what Kindred Beast actually does. Like, I really want to show you guys the additional effects, man. Like, the additional effects are actually insane. Can I find on the forums? Yeah, here you go. So as you can see, the cunning, you don't really have to worry about ferocity. Cunning, Master Call frees nearby allies from movement and parent effects. So you get a Master's Call for everybody, which is pretty decent. But this is the one I'm talking about, Tenacity with Beast Mastery Hunter, because you're going to be able to run a Spirit Beast, which is also Tenacity. Survival of the Fittest. Allies near your pet take 50% less damage. That's insane, bro. That's better than Earthenwall Totem. 50% less damage, 1.5 minute cooldown. Insane. That's insane. This is going to be insane. This is going to put Enrique on the map. I love it. That's it, man. That's it. There's a tier list. Beast Mastery Hunter. Boring spec, but it's going to come back hard. We'll see. I'm all pumped up now, man. Marksmanship Hunter coming next. 9.1 PvP talents. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Peace out.